What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Glad to see you all. Thank you for piling in. Don't forget to hit that like button as you come in. I do appreciate all your support. And we are back. I know it's been a minute, but hey, better late than never, right? I'll read some of the comments here. What's going on, Rick? How's it going? Artful, what's up? Thank you for your continued support. And always getting on me on Twitter when you don't see me live for long enough. How's it going, Pimped Out Platypus? Welcome back. Good to see you again. Daniel Blaine, what's up? Good to see you all. Hello, Skydive. Welcome back. And please excuse the large headset that we have on today. I cannot find my usual earbuds that I put in, and I wanted to hear the lo-fi with you guys, so I'm resorting to the gaming headset for today, so it'll have to do. All right, let's take a look at the screen, see what we got going on. Thank you, I appreciate it. Good to see some familiar faces. And I'm sure some more people will pile in a little later. Either way, they can watch the playback. Let me add brief stream to the title because I forgot to add that. This is going to be a brief stream, guys. I'm gonna plan to keep it to about 20 to 30 minutes and just get out the information that I had to give to you guys today. And then hopefully when there's a little bit more exciting market activity going on, whoops. When there's a little bit more exciting market activity going on, we can have a bit of a longer stream and talk about some more, but yeah. So there's a few things going on right now, and we can start by taking a look at the Bitcoin chart. Again, that is not Bitcoin. I do this every single time. There it is. We can start by taking a look at the lovely Bitcoin chart. Here we're taking a look at this from a daily perspective. And immediately, if you guys are technical analysis people, if you consider yourself a TA person, you may have noticed two things immediately like I just did. And I usually look at the charts on my mobile device, so getting a look at this on a big screen and getting the full picture here kind of looks a little bit different, and I can pick up on some different things as I take a look. So the first thing that I noticed, well, there's three different things that I noticed, all right? The first is that we're making overall on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, from a purely technical perspective, we're making higher lows and higher highs, right? And what I'm talking about is once we broke up here, you can see we had a swing high. This was the peak on our move up. And then on the move down, we hit about here. And then we moved a little higher on the next swing up. And on the swing down next, our stopping point was higher than the previous. So you can see here, 33,000 on the last stop. And we were at about 29,000 on the one before that. So higher lows, higher highs, and it's kind of creating a little bit of a trend channel here. And maybe I can, let's see, which indicator is good for this? Extended, maybe? Do something like that. And let's use extended for something like this as well. You can see we've got a little bit of an uptrend channel that we just formed here. And if we are to hold within this channel that's starting to form here, this could indicate what could potentially happen going forward until we see a breakout of price structure. And a breakout of price structure just means once we start to get a nice pattern forming to where you can draw lines around things and see a formation, a pattern, once we break price structure, that would mean that we break out of that pattern in one direction or the other. So basically, price structure is indicating that we could do something like this until further notice, right? And just kind of inch our way up over time. But at some point, this price structure would break, and we'd either fall out the bottom of the channel, and then people might flip a little bearish, or we break out the top, and then people start getting a little bit excited. And I can't finish the arrow there, but you get my point. And then people start to get a little excited. So that's what we've got going on. Now, this scenario here on a daily time frame would just indicate that we're really grinding up and we're really not seeing much movement. The way I projected this out, if you just look at this channel, keep in mind this is on the daily time frame. So this is right here. We're at current February 2022, going all the way out to here. I mean, we're at 2024, right? By the end of this, and the lows are only still 44,000 and the swing highs are only at about 80. That's not very exciting now, is it? And I'm not by any means projecting that this pattern will continue for that long, but I am just indicating we're starting to see a little bit of a trend here: highs, lows, and the acceleration of the movement up is it matches on the resistance side and the support side. So a bit of a trend channel here. Another thing that I'm noticing, and we've already talked about this one before, and I'm just going to do the technical analysis first, and then I'll talk about some of the news that we've got, because technicals give you a good idea of what's probably going to happen, but then you look at the news, and that really tells you what's which direction is it most likely going to go in. Is it going to follow the technical structure and break to the top side, or the technical structure that indicates movement to the downside? All right, and so then right here, we talked about this before, bit of a head and shoulders. So this was a little concerning already. And let's get the polyline for this one. We talked about this before. This scenario that we had right here, little concerning, bit of a head and shoulders, and we already sold off. Now, there's a couple ways to look at this. And you could say that it started like right here, something like that, in which case the head and shoulders could have already finished out, because then it did a little bounce here and it flushed. We saw a bit further of a down move, and then we caught support. So the head and shoulders move could be over. There is also the scenario, though, that that's not where it really started, and it started here, in which case this could be the little fake move, and then we come back down and break to the bottom. So that's generally what happens with head and shoulders, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of head and shoulders patterns, but I'll give you a little example. I'm sure, not the shampoo. That's funny. Maybe this will show. So you can see here, just in this example, here on the right side, here's the neckline right here. Right, you see the shoulder, head, shoulder, and then you usually get like a couple little bounces, a little bit of fake bullish movements that make people think it's over, and then you usually see the flush, the continuation to the downside, and that will usually come, it'll usually go all the way back down to like the original price area, if not further down. And so that's what I'm looking at here. It could have just been this, and then finished to here, which is most probable, or we could see another pullback. But I think it's done. I think the head and shoulders is complete. That's my personal opinion. So now what's the third little technical thing that I'm seeing here? And that's going to be that really, really classic reversal pattern that I'm always talking about, where we get the move down. Usually it's like a double move down or something like that. Big sell-off. Then we see the consolidation. We see a recovery right back to where we came from. And then we start to see the movement back up to the original spot. So typically that looks something like this, right? The consolidation, the recovery, the pullback, and it kind of does a bit of an inverse head and shoulders. If you think about the concept, you sell off, you have the shoulder here, the head, the shoulder, and then a reversal back to where it came from originally, which is going to be right here at about this level, which looks like somewhere around 47, 48K. And so this is what I see happening. Most likely, if things just play out calmly, then we'll probably end up back to about 48 before we evaluate what's going to happen next. Again, purely technical perspective. Let's see. And this is not talking about any of the news, which is, by the way, far more important than anything I just showed on the chart. But this is just how I'm looking at it. Now, all of that being said, you already know what because Dogecoin is primarily what I trade, even though we're looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin as reference, the high market cap boys. Dogecoin is really what I'm invested in. I'm a Dogecoin person. I like Ethereum too. I also like Cardano and a couple of the smaller cap alternative coins, but primarily Dogecoin's my real thing. That's really what I care about the most. So my buy points on Doge have not changed, and that's part of the reason why I took a little bit of a longer break between streams. Dogecoin is really what this channel started on, and it's really what I still care about the most. And neither Dogecoin nor my alternative coins were doing anything spectacular. And they were still in the same area that we looked at them on the last stream 2 weeks ago. They were still in the same price area. And my opinions on like where my buy areas are, those do not fluctuate day to day or even week to week. My opinions on Dogecoin still stand as far as what my plan is and what my recommendations are. And just to reiterate, every 3 cents is pretty much where I'm looking at a potential buy area for Doge when we're in between this like 10 to 25 cent range. All right. So 16 cents, for example, that's my next buy target. And if we hold at 16, I usually look to solidify my position. If we pull back to 13, I'm going to buy some more. If we pull back to like 10 or 11, that's where I'm going to buy some more. In between those numbers, though, I have no plans on buying or selling or doing anything weird. And there's a couple reasons why I look at it that way, just for anybody that might be new and not understand why. And it's because when you look historically, that's where Dogecoin has tended to have really solid holding points at every 3 cent mark, at 19, at 16, and towards 13. And so for me, it just makes the most sense to look at those points. It also keeps me from over trading when we're messing around in numbers and areas in between those numbers. So, just because we hit 17 and things look bullish, I'm not going to do a FOMO buy. If I wanted to buy, I should have bought at my 16 target. Just because things look great and we hit 19, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm going to look to add if it looks like it's strong, or sell if it looks like it's resistance. Those are just my numbers: 19, 16, 13. And those still have not changed. So if you understand and have been following that logic, you've been trading at the same points that I have, even when I haven't been live. And you've probably done pretty well for yourself, because these numbers still hold to be very good spots to do something at. You can look at them as support levels or resistance levels. So what I ended up doing recently was on this big pullback here, when the market was selling off pretty hard just a couple days ago, Dogecoin pulled back, not just to 13, but it went down below 13 and bounced off 12. But then when you look, where did it immediately recover to once it stopped? Right back, sprung right back up to 13 cents here. You can see all the bottoms of this price activity right there at the low 13 cent mark. So this was a buy area for me once I saw that we held support. So I added a little bit here at 13, and then we started to move. And right as we got to about 16 cents, I was still feeling good because we had some strong price movement. We went all the way up to 17. And then once I noticed that we started to cool off a little bit, then I sold to scalp that position once I noticed that we could be in for another hard pullback. And with the plan being, if we hit 16 flat and it looks stable, maybe I'll buy some more there. But if not, I'll wait for my next price mark. See what happens while we mess around under this 16 cent line. All right, so I decided to sell somewhere about here. And then we pulled back under 16 cents. And I'm saying to myself, my next buy point is 13. It's not 15. Not 14 and a half. So that means I'm going to let all this play out, do whatever it wants to do. If it hits my buy spot, I'll buy there. If not, I'll wait for it to just reverse, come back up, and I'll buy at 16. Just a very structured approach. And like I said, it's not always about being right on every single little move, timing the little bottom, selling the little top, timing the little bottom. But you don't want to overtrade, because that's where you start to look for opportunities that don't really exist, and you start to make dumb mistakes. Silly rookie mistakes. So give yourself a little plan, figure out why it makes sense, and just trade that plan. Less trades is usually the best. And so that's what I've been doing, and that's still my advice. Buy at 16 if it looks strong at 16. If not, look for a pullback to 13. If you don't buy at 16, probably wait till 19, so on and so forth. Let's see here. Hey, Preezy, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Thank you for showing up. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. That way, post-stream, people will be able to find the video pretty easily. Seems the Fed can't stop Bitcoin. SEC also tried and failed. What can stop Bitcoin? Well, I think the thing is, and this is like the really important thing that I've been able to take away from all this activity, is that at first, there was a lot of panic that the Fed wanted to stop Bitcoin. Now, deep down, they probably still would if they had a choice, but recently, especially with the Fed seizing a lot of Bitcoin, which was something else that I wanted to talk about. Now they've got access to some of these things. Now, I know that the plan with the recent seizing is to give some of it back, but there was another time where they seized some Bitcoin as well. I'm sure they're trying to figure out ways, now that they really see how strong the cryptocurrency community is, figure out ways to integrate, first regulate, and then kind of become a part of cryptocurrency rather than just get rid of it and ban it. Particularly in the United States. Now, there's obviously some other countries that want nothing to do with it, like China, and that have no plans of making it easy to access. They want quite the opposite. But we've got the United States and we've got even Russia showing some interest in cryptocurrency. So I think we are in an okay spot there. I'm a little less worried about the Fed trying to shut down the cryptocurrency project now than I was when they first did the whole infrastructure bill thing and really messed up the wording. And a lot of the people involved in that, they've made it clear since then that the verbiage was incorrect, that they have no plans on enforcing, and the more recent discussions have just been about correcting all of that and getting things right. On top of that, we've been seeing so much widespread mainstream adoption of Bitcoin that I don't think the Fed really would want to do that anymore, especially with all the recent celebrities that have been on board with cryptocurrency. If you go on like Snoop Dogg's Twitter, or just look at celebrities' Twitter accounts, and you'll see most of them at some point or another talking about cryptocurrency, talking about wanting to own Bitcoin, getting paid in Bitcoin. If the Fed were to get involved with that, now you have high-profile accounts that would start to backlash, and that doesn't sound like something they'd want. Usually, the government wants people to feel the desire to comply and not to rebel. So, it might be a little late for that one. Where does the Bitcoin breakout take us to? And with the government seizing Bitcoin, are they now officially holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet? So yeah, so they do have some Bitcoin from previous seizures, but the most recent one that I also wanted to talk about, they are giving that back to the exchange that it was stolen from. So for that reason, no, they're not going to have that seizure on their balance sheet, but they should have some from previous seizures. Can a potential war impact this bull run? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Bull runs and bear runs, they are all so emotionally driven. That's the thing. Like whales, yes, but it is a lot of emotion. And the whales, when they spark a move, they're going to want the retailers. They want to feel confident that the retail traders are going to follow that and support it to help them accomplish their goal. So they're going to trade in the direction they think the retail overall would be comfortable going. Yes, a war could definitely mess things up. Do I think this is a fake out on Bitcoin? Do I see downside? How confident am I that the markets are out of the red? What's dragging Tesla down? Some good questions here. Where's the safe money going now, both on crypto and markets? Who's my money on? Hey, no problem. Glad you've got all the good questions coming here. So I will say, when it comes to my confidence in cryptocurrency for this first quarter or first half of 2022, I'm not super bullish, all right? And I kind of want to get that out of the way for anybody else that might be wondering how I'm feeling right now about cryptocurrency. I am not incredibly bullish. I think that we are going to move a little bit slower than people projected that we were going to move. And for that reason, a lot of people are going to lose kind of that desire to buy that they had in the last quarter of 2021. Because like you remember, we've talked about many times, we were expecting so much to happen with Bitcoin last year that did not happen. And here we are nearing Q2 of 2022, and it still has not happened. Bitcoin, in fact, has been heading to the downside, and we just recently, over the last couple days, finally saw some movement to the upside. And we're already in February. And here we were borderline re-crashing and making new lows that we hadn't even seen since early last year. So at this point in time, I'm not incredibly bullish on cryptocurrency. I don't really see short-term any reason for us to do a crazy surge towards like 100 to 200 to 300K, though I think it is possible. We're going to need some kind of spark in the market. And I think, we're definitely getting closer to Tesla doing the whole Dogecoin for vehicles thing. We know that we're already live with being able to buy merch and apparel and all of that. But once Tesla reaccepts Bitcoin, that could be the spark that Bitcoin needs to really fuel a bullish run. But I think we're going to need something big like that to really kick Bitcoin in the pants and get this move moving up. Other than that, it's just going to take people starting to feel a little bit more confident, because right now there's just so much news on government interaction with cryptocurrency. We're hearing, Russia, China, all these different countries and their stance. I think maybe a lot of the big money too would kind of like to just sit back and see what are these countries going to do before they start making any massive money moves. Someone on YouTube that I follow named Andrew Jick, he's another like finance guru. He was a Bitcoin holder, and he sold a substantial amount of his Bitcoin in expectation that the market movement this year, even if we don't see a crash, would just be so slow that it might be beneficial to take money out of Bitcoin and move it into some altcoins, some alternative projects that have potential to make much more market movement this year. And if he predicted that the market movement in Bitcoin was going to be something like 2 or 3x this year, I feel like he wouldn't have done that. So from his perspective, we're probably not going to see Bitcoin to 100,000 anytime soon. Now, another reason I say something like this is when you look at someone like Plan B and their projections, even the stock to flow model, which is apparently still in play, projects that we will hit 1 to 200,000, but we have until 2024 to do so. And that's when the next halving event's going to occur. So these prices that we're at right now, though they are a little low compared to like where we were a couple months ago, there's no reason for us to say that like by May or by June, July, August, we must be at $150,000 on Bitcoin. We have time to get there. And especially with the things going on with inflation, the things going on with cryptocurrency regulation in different countries, and people really just figuring out, well, what's going to happen to crypto next. I feel like smart money is kind of just taking it easy at this point and just doing their scalps, pumping the market once we hit a support, going short once we hit a resistance, and waiting for the next piece of information. So that's my observation. I could be a little off on that, but that's my opinion. And so for that reason, I mean, I'm still adding to my Dogecoin portfolio. I'm still looking for buys on things like Cardano, by the way. I think still Cardano sitting right here at about $1.20 is a pretty good buy. And especially with the potential, and we'll probably hear about some Cardano updates later in the year, good prices just across the crypto board. But that being said, I am not fully convinced that there won't be another sell-off, that we won't see a Doge to 12, a Doge to 10, or something like that, with Bitcoin potentially going into the 20s, maybe one more time. I wouldn't write that off. So I am not going all in. I'm still buying and adding at my points and selling when I say I will, but I am just being conservative because I don't know. And I feel like a lot of the market probably feels similar. There's obviously some bullish activity, but I do see a little bit of a lack of confidence in the price movement recently. When will we see a big spark in price movement? When will we see a breakout? Well, just looking at this right here, this little technical pattern I was talking about, where we kind of get that 2 move down, right? The consolidation and then the 2 move up. I think once we break kind of above this area, and if we break above this area and start heading into 50s, then I think people might start to get a little bit more bullish again, and that could cause a snowball effect. I really think we're going to have to see Bitcoin in 50s again, though, before we can start to consider a big market pump. Until then, people are probably just going to be, for the most part, sitting on the sidelines. And once we hit 50s, toward 50 to 55, I think that's when we'll start to see FOMO buys kick in and the market start to propel a little bit faster to the upside. But for now, I think it'll be a bit of a slow move, which is perfectly fine. I don't necessarily think the market's going to absolutely dump or crash or anything like that, but I am just being careful. And that's all I'm saying. I'm a little unbiased right now. I think we have more good news than bad, so the market shouldn't crash, and I think it'll just be a slow grind up. But if there's any really bad news, if something with one of these countries starts to go wrong, we've seen what Bitcoin can do very quickly. So I'm not writing that off. Hey, what's up, Matt? Thanks for hanging out, man. Good to see you. I like the new icon, by the way. I see you got a new icon there for the channel. Good to see you streaming. Thanks, man. Yeah, it took a little bit of a 2-week break. Definitely been busy. Work's been pretty stressful, but I didn't want to go longer than 2 weeks, so I made sure I went live today and gave you guys an update. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Where's the safe money going now, both on crypto and markets? Who's my money on? Well, let me say this. I linked a video in the description, guys, and feel free to check out that link. It's right below. If you just go in the description, it's right below where my Twitter is, which you can also follow me there if you like for more frequent updates. But it's a video posted by Meet Kevin that he posted today, and it's titled "Ending my channel" or something like that. But the purpose of the video is that he's a really heavy investor, all right, and he's got a massive portfolio, and I'm talking millions and millions of dollars, and he is kind of the go-to. Even people like Graham Stephan and Andrew Jick and others, they kind of look to Meet Kevin as the guy to look to for answers when even they don't have answers, right? And he's usually pretty spot on, big picture regarding things. And his concern is that he thinks there's going to be a bit of a recession coming due to inflation and the excessive amount of inflation that's going on. And he thinks we're going to reach a point where prices start to go up to a point where people don't want to buy certain things anymore. And then we start to see things start flipping to the downside. He also thinks that the real estate market's going to begin to crash, and that the stock market is going to crash. For that reason, he said 90% of his portfolio he has sold and reinvested into other things. Now, he didn't specify what those other things are exactly, but he sold 90% of his stock market portfolio, and he also is selling off a lot of his real estate. So he sees a pretty nasty crash coming at some point this year. That could happen by the end of the year. And so I think overall, that could be the sentiment of smart money. We might be seeing smart money starting to get out of the market slowly but surely as time goes on for the next couple of months, next couple of weeks, I don't know. But that was the first indication I got. And that concerned me a little bit because I was a little more on the bullish side, but he thinks that the markets are just greedy right now and that people aren't really factoring in everything that's really going on behind the scenes with the value of the US dollar and inflation. So he might be onto something, but go ahead, check out that video maybe after this live stream's done. Links in the description if you want to watch it. It was a good watch. What's dragging Tesla down? I'm not too sure. I think let me take a look. I don't really think anything's dragging Tesla down. I haven't seen any negative news recently on Tesla, but I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, well, only if you were here at my channel a couple months ago, you would have seen, but we were talking about what do I think Tesla's valued at. My high point, I said something like what did I say? Like 1150 or something like that, with potential to maybe go up to like 1500. But you can see here, I mean, we moved up really strong here, and this was somewhere in that area where they were talking about Tesla AI and the Tesla Model S Plaid and all that stuff, the new stuff. But then we just started to cool off a little bit, and we're consolidating at about 900. Now, you can see here we formed a bit of a flag pattern. It is possible this breaks to the upside and we see back into 1000s here on Tesla stock, but I think Tesla's pretty fairly valued. I mean, Tesla's stock, if you just look at the history, it's been on a pretty strong, steady trajectory to the upside over time with just completely normal and healthy pullbacks. If you even draw a trend line here, you can kind of see we haven't broken any kind of market structure here. And Tesla's still riding the trend line up. So I think it's just a pullback. We'll see if Tesla breaks above this 1250 again and starts heading up towards 2000. But I don't know. There's a lot of competition in the Tesla space. And in my opinion, the way I look at Tesla as a company, I look at, is their current valuation fair, or does it deserve to be more? And the main thing that I think about when I try to consider whether they deserve their valuation or if it deserves to continue going up is, well, what kind of lead do they have over their competition? because now there's competition in the electric vehicle space. We've got things like Rivian and Lucid and all these other companies, that are getting into the electric vehicle space and doing a really good job. Even the Lucid Air, I mean, it's just about as fast as the Tesla Model S Plaid, but it's also more luxurious with a better interior. And, these companies are starting to really get their electric vehicle stuff together. So Tesla's going to have to figure out a way to justify its valuation continuing to increase over time. And so it needs to continue to lead the market, in my opinion. And I feel like that's just going to get harder and harder to do over time. But that being said, Tesla does, since they've had such a jump, they do keep proving that they have an edge over other people. And they're also diversifying into other spaces other than electric vehicles. So we'll see. We'll see how they continue to improve. But I think this valuation, anywhere from 900 to 1200, is fair. But I don't know how much higher we go than there with current Tesla. That's my opinion on Tesla. I would be tempted to short Tesla, but I just know that's historically been a bad idea, so I won't do that. Hey, what's going on, Sophia's World? Bitcoin market cap is going down as the price is going up. Good luck, everyone who thinks it isn't coming down soon. It very well could. It very well could. Let's see. Dogecoin, upcoming key catalyst, Robinhood wallets, Tesla accepting Doge for vehicles, Doge 1 mission, AMC acceptance, major merchants accepting via Verifone, Lib Dogecoin, GigaWallet Radio. Yes. Yes to all of the above. And that's why there's so much in the pipeline for Dogecoin, guys. Like I said, if Doge pulls back to 12 again, or even does something like 11 or 10 because the market's crashing, I'm not going to be surprised at this point. All crypto right now, even things that we thought would be doing very, very well, like Ethereum, for example. Last year, I think I predicted Ethereum would, at this point in time, probably be towards like the 6,000, 7,000 mark. And here we were just at 2,400. Cardano, people were thinking $3 to $5 to $10. We're sitting at $1, and we were just at 92 cents. Bitcoin, we thought 100,000 plus, and we're at 30s, 40s. Crypto is definitely, all cryptos are in a deep pullback right now. Anything that follows market movement. So, it's in a deep pullback right now. So it is what it is. And the predictions were a little off. I think we were maybe just a little too bullish. And so it is what it is. But we just adjust and move accordingly. Right now, at this point in time, there is a chance Bitcoin could pull back some more. We could see a closer to 2,000 or 1,800 ETH again. We could see ADA back in the 90s or 80 cents. We could see Doge hit under 12. It is very possible. But nothing has changed with why I believe in the projects. I still think Doge has a lot of potential. We still, even recently, have seen Elon Musk do a lot for Dogecoin. It's now live as a method of payment on the website. You can buy merch. That means vehicles are going to be next. And then that's going to be big. And he himself is making pushes to help us market and increase adoption by, he presented it to McDonald's, and maybe we'll do the same for Burger King. And who knows what else Elon Musk will do to help us drive adoption, which will help the price go up. So, and then all the things that Artful mentioned there that we've been talking about. Robinhood wallets coming very soon. They're already starting to go around. People are getting, people on that wait list are now getting the opportunity to join the beta. Let me just double check and make sure I'm not on it yet. Not quite yet, but it's coming. And once we have wallets, that opens up a whole new world for Dogecoin on Robinhood. And then all the things that the Dogecoin development team is doing to help push it and make it very easy to use for retail and make sense to use. So a lot of potential here. So my stance hasn't changed. I'm still buying at 16. If we hold at 16 and look bullish and Bitcoin looks bullish, I'm buying at 16. If not, I'm waiting for 13. I'll buy some more and just see what happens there. That's my recommendation to everybody else too. No problem, Daniel. Did I get my Tesla merch that I bought on stream? Yes, and I think I moved the cup to the kitchen. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, hang on just one sec. I'll show you guys on stream before we wrap up. So give me just 1 second. All right, I'm back. Yes, so I did get my Dogecoin merch, and let's see if you'll be able to see this here. So, oh, it's got some fingerprints on it, but you can see here's the mug. It says sexy SEXY for the Tesla models that are out right now, and then on the back it's got the Tesla logo, and it is like a satin matte black finish with gloss black engraving or whatever for the letters. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't even buy the cup because I really wanted the cup. I just bought it to test buying something on the website with Dogecoin, but I actually like the cup and I forgot to use it, so thanks for reminding me. But that is what it looks like. It was very easy to get, by the way, guys, and that's what really makes me feel positive about the whole Dogecoin thing for transactions. Like, just seeing more people accept Dogecoin natively, when you get to try it for yourself and you realize how easy it is, it's just, I mean, it's awesome. What we've been able to accomplish with making payments with a decentralized currency. So adoption should be very easy. We just need people to get on board. That's really it. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out. I'll continue to keep an eye on the markets. I'll continue to be active in the Discord group and give you guys my latest opinions as things change. I might be discounting the Discord group just for those that have interest, that have just been feeling a little discouraged by the entry price per month, just to get more people that want to take crypto seriously, but aren't quite feeling ready to make that kind of jump for like 10 a month. Just to give you a little easier access, even if it's for a limited time. And that way we can have, when I'm not streaming and, I take a week or two before I go back live, something like that, you can at least get the conversation with all of us that in the Discord group where we're still talking off stream and planning out our next steps. Also, if you're not interested in that, that is perfectly fine. I understand. You can still follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm second most active. So I will occasionally post updates there and reshare articles that are really important that pertain to the crypto market and what I think is going to happen next. So follow me on Twitter if you have not already, and I would appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button before you go, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Thanks everybody for your support.